In the Factor follow-up segment tonight, Donald Trump's vetting plan for immigrants coming to the United States of America. In Phoenix last night, Trump delivered the most detailed to date on his strategy to better secure the country.
We are going to suspend the issuance of visas to any place where adequate screening cannot occur. I call it extreme vetting, right? Extreme vetting. I want extreme. Another reform involves new screening tests for all applicants that include, and this is so important, especially if you get the right people, and we will get the right people, an ideological certification to make sure that those we are admitting to our country share our values and love our people.
And a new Fox News poll shows how much the issue of security is on the minds of registered voters. When asked if the U.S. is safer today than before the 9/11 terror attacks, 54% say we're less safe. Just 39% say we're safer. Joining us now to analyze from Washington, Sebastian Gorka from the Institute of World Politics and author of the best-selling book, Defeating Jihad. Dr. Gorka, let's talk about this extreme vetting plan, ideological certification. Help me out here.
Hugely important idea. So, Eric, before I had the honor of becoming an American citizen, I had to come to America on the visa waiver program. And you fill out a little green form on the plane, and one of the things it asks you is, have you ever been a member of the National Socialist Party of Germany? So we're asking people right now in 2016 if they were Nazis. I get it. But why aren't we asking them if they're connected to Al-Qaeda, to ISIS, to the Muslim Brotherhood? This is what Donald Trump is talking about.
Yeah, but Doc, I mean, yeah, I'm ISIS. They're likely not going to say that, right?
Right, but if you lie on a federal form, you're starting a paper trail. It's really important. You've got to make the connection. You've got to find those people who don't share the values that Americans share. You've got to look at what they actually have as their guiding ideology. This is a war against a totalitarian ideology, global jihadism. And you interview people. You have professionals interview them. You push them and you find whether or not they share our values. This is part of counterterrorism. It's not just arresting people, it's identifying what values they have before they go kinetic.
Yeah, and then you better have a staff to go and tie up all those ends and find out who's telling the truth and who's not. Right. By the way, if you lie on something else, maybe you're lying on that ideological certification question too. Right. Donald Trump is going to get his second intelligence briefing tomorrow at an undisclosed location here in New York City. We're not sure what's in it. What do you think is going to be in it? How detailed will they get?
Well, it really depends on which agency is briefing and who the individual briefer is. But I would expect updates on the domestic ISIS threat. So what do we have in terms of intelligence, chatter in terms of terrorist potential activity? And I am pretty sure that there's going to be some information on what Russia is doing. Russia has now amassed 100,000 troops on the Ukrainian border. So there's bound to be somebody who's looking at the European theater as well. And there could be some other things about China and so forth, but only people in the room with the clearances will get to know.
And who is that, Doctor? Who gets to go with Donald? Does Donald Trump go alone? Does he bring a small group of people? Who gets that clearance?
He gets to pick, and those people have to be vetted by the briefing agencies. For example, General Flynn, I had lunch with him yesterday. He has the clearances, former director of the DIA. He is advising Mr. Trump, so people like General Mike Flynn will be in that meeting.
And generally, it's just here are risk areas, here are hot spots, not what our strategy is to combat any of those. Is that accurate?
Yes, it's filling in the candidate on the latest broad brush intel, not about what we're going to do or the operational details of a response, but things that you wouldn't necessarily read in the Washington Post or on Fox News, something that goes a little bit deeper on global trends.
All right, you just got to watch Homeland. Usually you can get most of your intel briefings right from that show. Dr. Sebastian Gorka, thank you very much.